Some of his stories about the championship runs in Cleveland or Utah. You guys heard some motivation last week from the climber, Holland, was it? Bonner. So he was also here to tell a side outside of basketball that all of us could relate to and could really get us focused for this second semester. We wanted to change some things up with the synergy session tonight. About 6 months ago, I got a chance to meet Teddy, and he came on campus for a day. And I had known Teddy's name and heard, some of the stories and the legends of, him playing in the state of Florida here. But as I got to know him more throughout the day, I thought back from my 8 years of experience here, as well as my 3 years of working in Los Angeles with some of the best players in the NBA and some of the best players that had ever come through the international ranks. And I thought back and I was like, man, if this guy could be on this campus every day telling his story to the different students, it would really, really impact. And right now, he's already doing it, but instead of doing it in a small place like IMG, he's traveling all over the state of Florida, and hopefully soon we'll be traveling all over the country doing what he's about to do for you guys. Eddie?
No? Can you hear it? No. We're not going to use it then. Do you want this? No, okay. How are you guys? Good. My name is Teddy Dupay. Anybody here ever heard of me? Did anybody here ever watch me play? Perfect. That means we all have something in common. Because I haven't heard of any of you either. And so, I used to use this to my advantage all the time because I am a winner. I do whatever it takes. I have to make 500 jump shots a day, I make 500 jump shots a day. If I've got to make 6, I've got to make 6. If I've got to make you upset before I take you out there and put you through the ringer, then I'll do that too. You know exactly what I'm talking about because you're looking at me right now and saying, why are we listening to this little white guy? All right, good. We're on the same page. We're on the same wavelength. Why are you listening? Well, first things first, I want you to listen close because I do have a very, very, very important message to share with you. An emotional message. Okay? It's going to hit home with some of you. If it doesn't hit home with you tonight, one of these days something's going to happen. And you're going to remember this night for the rest of your life because you guys are a great group. You guys have a great respect for your coaches, and you should. Everybody's looking at me and listening. And that's what I tell the group. I have a big nonprofit foundation in Tampa. It's called the Skill Center. Okay? We work with kids all the way age down to 3 up to 18 years old. Needless to say, they probably will never experience some of the advantages that you have here at IMG. For instance, hardwood floor. Nice new leather basketball. You guys have big, big, big time advantages by being here, but understand there's also going to be disadvantages. I came from a privileged background. My father's right over here. He told me if I wanted to play at the top, like you guys do, anybody here want to play in the NBA, WNBA? Raise them high. Anybody here want to play in college? Anybody here not going to raise their hand no matter what I say? No. So if I'm talking, your eyes are here. You're here with your ears, you're listening with your eyes. This is what I teach kids, and that's what you're here to do. Why should you listen to me? Well, we have something in common. I did play professional basketball. I did play in the Final Four. I did play in a national championship game. I was an All-American at the University of Florida. I was a McDonald's All-American. Doing alley-oop on the first play of the game. I did average 42 points a game my senior year of high school. I did lead America in scoring. I still lead the state of Florida in scoring. 3,744 points. The record still stands, and nobody's breaking it. Nobody's breaking it because nobody can get work on the court like I could. These guys will tell you. Alshon will tell you. I used to put it to somebody. All the way to them. And I'll tell you right now, I'm going to put it to somebody tonight. But I made a promise so I wouldn't play one-on-one with anybody. Wouldn't want to hurt anybody's ego tonight. Okay? Back to the facts, guys. Back to the facts. You guys have a long, long way to go. Okay? The point is, I don't tell you these things to try and impress you. Okay? I still hold the scoring record at the City of Palms. Anybody know that tournament? Down in Fort Myers? I still hold the record at the Bass Pro tournament out in Springfield. Anybody know that one? If you guys get good enough, you might get your team invited out there. If you're good enough. Anybody heard of the Kingdom of the Sun tournament in Ocala? Still got that one. There is not a tournament that I didn't plan, that I didn't go in and scorch the record, except one time. I went into St. Louis Kiel Center. Penny Hardaway had the record. So I went in there and broke it once, and then came back the next year, and I broke that record again. Again, not to impress you, not to brag. What I did is in the past. So the next question, after why are we listening to this little white guy? Because if you're so good, how come you weren't in the NBA? Right? And that's what my important message is going to be. First things first. Okay, I've got Eric here. The little things make the big difference. You guys ever heard that before? The little things? I hear from coaches every single day. The little things. Being early in practice, making your shots, following through, jump stop in the lane, set proper screens, help on dig, get your homework done, show up to class. Don't be a jerk while you're there. Don't make excuses. Believe me, guys, no complaining. If you think getting on the phone and complaining to your parents, nobody cares. I'm telling you, when you call and you complain to your parents, they don't care. You know who cares? Your coaches, sort of. Your teammates, more. But you know who cares about you? You. And so when you complain, you're making an excuse in your head. When you complain, nobody's listening. Nobody cares. Again, this is something that being an IMG can be a major, major, major advantage for you. You have so many incredible facilities. You have so many opportunities to you. Plus, you're going to be seen. They take you around to all these games, but at the same time, it can make you soft. My dad always told me people are going to be gunning for you. You're the doctor's kid. You don't have to succeed. You don't have to make it on the floor. And you're going to be competing against people who have to make it. The only way out is to stick it to you. And if I'm going to stick it to them, how does that happen? Preparation. Preparation. Who here has heard practice makes perfect? Who here believes that? So I came in today, and I watched you guys warm up a little bit, a couple kids, I saw a couple little guys come up. You know what the first thing they did? They came out here to the three-point line, started hiking up threes. But Mommy, I don't know why I'm not getting any better. I practice 4 hours a day. You guys seen it? They practice, they practice, they practice, they practice. And if you practice the wrong things over and over and over, you're going to get real good at the wrong things. Perfect practice makes perfect. Remember something, guys. The way you do some things is the way you're going to do everything. If you have a good attitude and you work hard at practice sometimes, and then sometimes you have a bad attitude, you have a bad attitude. You're detrimental to the team you're on. You have all this talent and all this athleticism and all these people blowing smoke telling you how great you are, and your team will be 500. And you'll never be able to figure out why. And the good coaches will ignore you. Why isn't this guy recruiting me? Why are these guys recruiting me? Same reason this team always stinks and this time's always good. You know who's always really good? Syracuse. They're always good. Matter of fact, if you're lucky enough, watch me get to practice in one of the nets that I cut down. My sophomore year in college, We played, obviously, in the NCAA tournament, and we went up to Syracuse for the Sweet 16 games, where we played Duke, #1 in America, Jay Williams, Mike Dunleavy, Carlos Boozer, Shane Battier. They were loaded. What did we do? We stuck it to them. Stuck it to them. We were tougher. We were better prepared. We had more repetition behind us. We knew what we wanted to do, and we went out there and imposed our will on them. So how do I get started? Eric, come with me. Every single time I come on the court, every single time I come on the court, every single time, I get right here. Now I know you've heard this before. All the coaches say your form is important. This is my prep drill. The first thing you need in prep is P, your posture. You need to line up with your toes. Imagine you took a fish hook, you hung it up on top of the rim, and the net, the line would just dangle directly straight down. That's where I want your toes. Why so close? So that you can't push the ball. The correct posture on a shot is with your elbow up. If I ask every single one of you, what's the correct form? Show it to me. What does it look like when you shoot? What does it look like when you shoot? Every single person is going to show me the correct way. But then, when I watch you shoot around, everybody's doing it wrong. Your elbow's down. When I say show me how to do it, your elbow's up. But when you come out here to shoot, your elbow's down. Perfect practice makes perfect. So the first P is for posture. We're here. Okay? I'm up. Now I have to make 10 perfect swishes in a row. Doesn't count. 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't count. 1. It's a squeaky floor, ain't it? I'll get to 10. Easy for me. Well, I've ever tried the second. The second you make 10 in a row, perfect swish. Why perfect swish? Does anybody know? Give me a guess.
Practice makes perfect.
Perfect practice makes perfect. I'm going to show you in a second. The second thing is repetition. Repetition breeds reflexiveness. What you do sometimes is what you do all the time. So if I come out here and before I start my workout, before I start hiking stuff up, I commit to working on the basic fundamentals first. I'm getting the proper repetition. The other thing I'm doing is I'm getting my eyes on the rim. The eyes are the most important part of your shot. A lot of people watch the flight of the ball. A lot of people don't even know what they're looking at. I told my dad this is a great shooting rim. He said, why? I said, because of how the net attaches to the rim. Right, good? Some don't have one right in the front. Well, people say, what do you mean? You see the little hooks that the nets are attached to? I say, guys, what do you aim at? Front of the rim, back of the rim. No, I pick out a little hook and I dial in and I focus. Anybody here ever play darts? What do you aim at? The bullseye. Right? You don't just aim at the dartboard and hope to hit a bullseye. You aim for the bullseye and you hit the bullseye. So we got posture, repetition, eyes, and then the final reason you start here is pressure. If you know the drill's not over until you make 10 perfect swishes in a row, and you've been sitting here shooting for about 10 minutes, and you're starting to sweat, and your arms are starting to hurt, don't you think number 7 is going to be a little tougher? What if you just got to 9 3 times, and then you hit the rim? It's the only way to simulate pressure shooting. And it's the only way to simulate pressure shooting where the result is a positive. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? How else are you going to simulate pressure shots? You going to wait for a big game? You miss your first one, now you had a negative experience. You guys do mind classes, don't you? You work on what you're thinking. You use sports psychology, right? This is how you start. And you know what's crazy? Maybe 1 or 2 of you, actually probably tomorrow about 50% of you will do this. And then the next day, 25%. And then the next day, maybe 10. And then eventually, maybe one day, there'll be one of you that takes this, puts it in their bag of tricks, and uses it every day so that you become a great knockdown shooter. The second part of it, right here, It's not just a bank shot. It's up above the glass, above that square. Perfect switch. It's not easy. You want it coming down. Once you get nice and loose, then you can start to back up. But why would you back up until you've made 100 shots or so? You know, get the rhythm going a little bit. Well, you can come out here and guard me if you want. You know what I'm talking about. Come on if you want.
That's all he do is talk.
Carter guy out here. He has a lot of space to drive.
That's so typical of our generation. I'm talking, but you're still sitting there. You're still sitting there. Are you recording?
Not audio. Not audio. I'm turning it off. I know the USEP rule.
In a row. Perfect swing. Elbow up. In closer. Now guys, pay attention to the little things. The little things. The little things make the big difference. I won't be here tomorrow if you decide to try this. Pay attention right now. When you hang the fish hook and the string comes down to the floor, that's where I want your toes. Okay? Some people like to turn their shoulder, some people like to shoot square up, but whatever it is, this elbow needs to be pointed at the rim. That's your laser pointer. Ever seen somebody shoot a shotgun on TV? What do? They line it up first, right? You shoot a shotgun over here and the bullet's not going to go over here. Well, if you shoot a basketball over here, that's where it's going to go. So elbow up, point it at the rim, then you bend together, extend together. Bend, and go. Good. That's okay. No. Okay, down and up. And when you finish, you got to shoot up. Too many people shoot out. Okay? Too many people shoot out. Why guys don't make full court shots? Because they shoot it at the rim instead of to the rim. Why did Magic Johnson always make half court shots and nobody else makes it? Because he shot it. He let it drop in. When you're in close like this, you've got to get the ball up. Go ahead. Gotcha. Something else. Altron will tell you. These guys will tell you. I was not a set shooter. I was a straight up jump shooter. You leave me wide open from three, I will rise up and knock it down. Why do you think I needed that? Because I'm a midget. I'm a little person. So once you get this, very good, very good. Now right here, give me some of the bank shots. Up high, above the block. Good. Now check this out. You want it going up, then on its way down to hit the backboard. You ever screw with a little kid and you spin it to him like that? You ever done that? No. You guys have done that? Well, if you throw it this way, it's going to stop. But if you throw it this way, it's going to take off. If you can get it up in the air, have it start to come down, then hit the backboard, that's the type of rotation that you want. Keep going, I'm going to show you this footwork here. In closer. Up high. There you go. Get 2 hands on that one. Bend those knees too. You're already powered from your legs. All the way up, above the square. As you guys can see, it's not that easy, and it is something. This shot will serve you well in games. Because next year, when Eric's at Nevada, What are you about, 6'4", 6'5"? 6'4", I'm 5'9". Do you think either one of us are considered big or small people at the next level? Real small. Real small. Perfect swish. Perfect swish. Keep going. Perfect swish. 10 in a row. 2. It's 1. 1. So even if you don't hit the perfect swish, you're still making an awful lot of shots. Get it up there high, let it drop in. More legs. Get your rhythm, get your eyes, get your elbow. There you go. Concentrate. Shooting a basketball is all about concentration. You ever get red hot and just shoot because it was your turn to shoot or you were open? But you really didn't concentrate to knock the shot down. This drill prevents that because you got to be perfect. Last drill. I got 3 little things here for you. Eric is a 1-2 shooter. Does everybody knows what that means? 1-2? It means when you're coming into the ball, you're stepping 1-2 shoot. If Eric wanted to get a shot going off to his right, dribble, 1-2 shot. Everybody shoots like that here. What other types of footwork are there for a shooter? A what? What's that look like? That's a little 2, little hop step. Good. You can jump step into it. The other type of footwork that I made a living off of because of my size was the 2-1. So if I'm coming up there here and I'm making a move, I can 1-2 and rise up. I got to get him going that way pretty fast so he can't go up. I can come in, but he's going to be right there to contest both of those. The other little bit of footwork I want to show you is the 2-1. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. The best drill for this. I like to do it from 3. You can do it from here. You guys probably see some of the guys come down and they'll shake somebody from 3 like that, but it's much more effective in the lane. Much more effective in the lane. I got somebody guarding me, they're over me, they're bigger than me. Even if I rise up and shoot, it's contested. But if I'm taking a guy in the lane, I'm coming off the pick and roll hard, and I can knock him back and get shots. I'm straight up, I have my body under me. Now, do you think you're just going to shoot this shot good? Or do you think you're going to have to make 3, 4, 5, 6 runs of a day to be good? Here's the drill. You start here right in the middle. You take 2 little baby dribbles, up, knee and hand, step, shoot. You come back to the top, 2 little baby dribbles, stay in the middle, step, shoot. You come right back here again, 2 baby dribbles, stay here, step, shoot. What you don't want to do on this move, on a crossover, is go, watch my left foot. You might be shaking somebody, but you're not going anywhere. You want to make sure that you keep this planted, cover ground, and either cross or get your shot. Does that make sense? 2 baby dribbles. Step, good. Great job, Eric. 2 baby dribbles. Good. 2 baby dribbles, stay down the line. Good. Excellent. Do the same thing with your left hand. Let's keep it at 15 feet. So come with your left hand, 2 baby dribbles. Okay, you see where his back foot went? He made this one, he went here. As opposed to here. Now, we talk about the little things. This is essentially eliminating steps out of my game. Eliminating unnecessary steps. Eliminating unnecessary things that don't help me. Now let's stop talking about basketball for a second. Are there any unnecessary things that you do on a daily basis, every day, that are either hurting you or not helping you? Is there anything that your coaches have had to remind you of multiple times? Is it? Yeah. What type of things is it? Attitude. Okay. What else? What else? Focus. What else? Netflix? You guys watching too much Netflix? There's some other things, guys. Again, this is a chance to let me know, because I want to see what type of issues we're having. Attitude, focus, these are mental choices, because at the end of the day, who controls you? You. Who controls your thoughts? You. It's the only thing that you control. I committed as a sophomore in high school to the University of Florida. You guys ever heard of Billy Donovan? Billy Donovan got the job at Florida. He was 32 years old. I was 15. Very next day, gives a call, he's in the gym, I want to start the Florida basketball program at point guard. I was a point guard. A lot of the players in the state respect you. I got a lot of pub early. You know, not a lot of people who look like me getting this type of stuff done. It was rare. Not that I could shoot, not that I could score, but that I'm tough. 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 Outshot. Am I the type of guy you don't get out on your team? Am I the type of guy you don't want to play against? That's a choice. That's a choice. See, I made that choice. But I didn't just go out there one day and get tough during the game. I got tough in practice. I get tough when we play ping pong. I get tough when we play board games. I get tough when the teacher tells me I can't do something or somebody else does. Somebody tells me I can't do something, I want to get it done. But it's the little things. Small daily choices. They say excellence. It's not a singular act, but it's a habit. And if we are what we repeatedly do, then you get to choose to be excellent right now. You can't put it off till tomorrow. You can't make excuses about yesterday. You can't look for some sort of reason why you're not great, because ultimately you guys get to choose what you do, what you think, the work you put in, how much Netflix you watch, how many jump shots you take, your attention to detail in the drills, what the coach is watching and what the coach isn't watching. You guys think we don't notice that? You work real hard on the drill until we turn our back and then you let up? No, we don't see you actually slapping in the drill. We have to watch the stink in the game. When you can't get anywhere, when you can't get anybody. Sure, when the cones are out there, you look good. But as soon as the coach stops looking, you stop working hard, and then you get exposed in the games. And that's what happens to a lot of guys at the next level. I'm not saying I'm not picking on you guys, but it's going to be a big-time wake-up call for you. And I know you'll be able to answer the bell. But if any of you are lucky enough to get to that next level, it's going to be a huge wake-up call for you. And what you need to do is revert back. There's not a person that's ever gone and doesn't say, man, I wish I would have worked harder when I was in high school. There's not a single person that gets done with college and says, wow, I wish I worked harder in college. So can you guys take a quick wild guess how much time I put into my shot to get to that point? You think it just happened? Seriously. Setting records, scoring points, a shot like that, playing on TV, doing all the cool stuff, it took a lot of time. And before my senior year of college, I was an All-American my junior year. Probably could have left college after my sophomore year. We went to the championship game. Probably could have left, had to have a little shoulder surgery. Decided to stay in school. Boy, I thought I was big stuff. Man, I thought my stuff didn't stink. Played the junior year, had a little back surgery during the season. It didn't matter. Came back, crushing them. And before my senior year, I actually got suspended by the NCAA. I didn't get to play my senior year. I didn't get to play my last year. Preseason All-American, SEC Player of the Year, you name it. There were a lot of people saying I was pretty marketable too. Hanging out with the wrong people. Hanging out with the wrong people. Guys I knew that were gambling. Guys I knew were drinking. Guys I knew I should not be hanging out with. I had put my entire life, every second of every day, into developing this game and developing my jump shot, convincing myself how tough I am, convincing myself that being small was an advantage, not a disadvantage. How in the hell is that possible? How can I come out here and play basketball against him and say that this is an advantage? Well, he sets the screens for me, of course.